Stop! Before you head to Megaplex, there's a few things you need to know.
From furry to the world around us, the research and ramblings of a dog. Welcome to Tasper's Tour Bus.
Hi, I'm Tasper, and welcome to a special tour designed exclusively for getting you prepared for Megaplex 2025. This is the information you'll need to know, so whether this is your first time at Megaplex, your first furry convention, or you simply just want a quick reminder, let's make sure you won't be caught off guard by some unusual procedures. For your convenience, today's tour is divided into sections, so you can easily skip over any portion that doesn't pertain to you. For those of you flying into Orlando, you do not want to use any of the free Hyatt shuttles you find at the airport. There are nearly a dozen Hyatt hotels in the Orlando area, but none of these shuttles are going to take you to the one you need on International Drive. The Hyatt hosting Megaplex does not offer this service. There are several ways to get to Hyatt from the airport. On the low end, the trip will only cost you $2, but for that, you'll have to take the city bus. This is usually not a great option if you happen to be carrying a furry-sized amount of luggage. In addition, the trip will take you more than an hour, and the bus will not drop you in front of the hotel. You'll be faced with a good bit of a walk in the Florida summer heat. So unless your budget is really tight, I don't recommend this. Your best option is to use a service like Uber or Lyft. Just remember, these services use surge pricing. If there's a sudden uptick in the number of people looking for rides from the airport, their prices will certainly reflect that. If the price seems higher than you'd expect to pay, say, more than $50, I'd just close the app and consider the old school method of taking a cab. You can ask a taxi driver for a cost estimate. They won't be able to give you an exact price, but they'll likely have some idea what you can expect to pay. Simply ask what the fare would be for a ride to the Hyatt Regency Orlando that's next to the convention center. During the peak times, a taxi cab can actually be cheaper because the pricing is based upon a metered amount of mileage and the amount of time it takes to get somewhere. Just hope you don't get caught in a traffic jam. If you're driving to Megaplex and staying at the Hyatt, here's an unusual twist. Do not head directly to the parking deck. You will not be allowed access to the parking deck until after you've checked into your room. They will have someone there turning people away unless they have a Hyatt room key, so when you arrive, pull up to the front entrance, temporarily park, and go to the hotel's front desk. If your room is ready, even if you're there early, they will probably let you check in. This would also be a perfect time to unload those bags. Once you have your room key, then you can proceed to the Hyatt's parking area. Every room includes only one complimentary parking space. If you're sharing a room and have multiple vehicles, expect to be charged $15 per day for each one. Anytime that you're departing the parking deck, you will need that hotel room key to open the gate. You'll find a convenient box to drop your key in when you leave the hotel at the end of your stay. Now, if you're not staying at the Hyatt, you probably won't be allowed to park in their deck at all. Instead, you'll need to use this unpaved lot that is behind the hotel right off of Convention Way. The parking fee was $15 a day in 2024. It's possible that rate may increase this year. You may want to carry cash for this just in case card payments are not accepted when you arrive. If you're on Android, the easiest way to locate this lot is to use the QR code on the screen. That will open the location in Google Maps for you. Alternatively, you can simply use the Google Plus code that you see on the screen. To my friends with an iPhone, you should use this QR code instead. This will direct you to what Apple simply calls the dirt parking lot. Essentially, what you want to do is turn off of International Drive and then onto Convention Way. This will be the lot on your left, just past the hotel. There are some on-street parking places right on Convention Way, but please note that while these spaces used to be free years ago, they no longer are today. When you are ready to enter the hotel, you'll notice the Hyatt has a lot of doors, but the only ones you'll be able to enter through will be the ones near the main lobby. This is a fairly simple walk from the Hyatt's parking deck, but it may feel a little too long if you had to park, well, anywhere else. The standard hotel rooms at the Hyatt, I think, are a fairly good size. They include a mini fridge, and you'll have free internet access. However, the Hyatt rooms do not have a microwave. If you bring any food to the hotel, be sure it's something you don't mind eating cold. That said, the hotel does have a convenient market, a budget-friendly diner, and several other dining options right there on site. Within walking distance, you'll have a 24-hour Denny's, a McDonald's, and a variety of other options. The Hyatt where Megaplex is hosted is completely sold out. Now, sometimes cancellations do open up rooms, but I certainly wouldn't count on that. Therefore, if you still need lodging, look for hotels near the Orange County Convention Center. While Megaplex doesn't happen inside the convention center, the Hyatt sits between its two massive, and I do mean massive, buildings. This makes it an excellent reference point for those hotel searches. Now, since the area is close to a bunch of major attractions, you'll find plenty of hotel options. Everything from budget spots to places that will cost you a small fortune. Personally, I'd go for something, well, on the more affordable side and just a few miles from the Hyatt. There's really no need for a fancy hotel. Chances are you'll spend most of your time at the convention anyway. Now, choosing something rather lavish, that's probably not practical for your trip. Plus, this dog wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. If you're staying at the Hyatt, your room also includes 2 free I-Ride Trolley tickets. The trolley runs daily from 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. and stops at many points of interest along International Drive. You'll find that both the red and green lines have stops just outside the hotel. The trolley can be a practical option if you're planning to explore some of Orlando's more popular sites. The route passes by a number of attractions, shopping areas, and entertainment venues. In addition, there are well over 100 dining options along the corridor, including 4 buffets, numerous pizza places, and truly everything in between. You can download a PDF that will show you all the stops by simply scanning the QR code you see on your screen. Now, personally, I've never used the trolley, but if you find yourself with some downtime or just want a break from the convention, those 2 free tickets just might come in handy. Also, if you're not staying at the Hyatt but would like to get tickets for the trolley, you find you can easily purchase them online. The Megaplex theme for 2025 is the House of Pounce. To attend, you must be 18 years of age or older, so you fursuiters won't have to worry about tripping over small children. This allows the convention to offer programming with more mature themes. For those events, you'll need to present a valid photo ID, so keep it handy and make sure that yours is not expired. If you're wearing a fursuit, you may be asked to remove the head before you are granted access to some events. This is required to be in compliance with Florida law. The dates for Megaplex this year are slightly different. The con officially starts on Saturday and runs through Monday, which is Labor Day. That means that registration begins on Friday evening, not on Thursday, and the final night this year is on Monday instead of Sunday. This will not be the case for Megaplex 2026. The convention will return to Friday through Sunday and will not occur over the Labor Day weekend next year. But the convention dates aren't the only things that have changed. The location has changed some things around as well. So let's have a quick look at the layout for 2025. Bear in mind that the convention level is 1 floor down from the lobby.
On the convention level, most near the hotel rooms, you'll find the Florida room. This is where you will register for Megaplex. Next to that, you'll find the Plaza International Ballroom, which will host the second stage, Panel Room 2, and the Headless Zone A. The Orlando Ballroom will host Panel Room 1. This will be used for the largest panels at the convention. Just before you turn the corner, you'll find the Regency Ballroom. This will host the Dealer's Room, Adult Dealer's Room, and the Artist Alley. Once you turn the corner, you'll be greeted by the Celebration Rooms. This is where you'll find Panel Rooms 3 through 7, the Photography Room, and the Headless Zone B. This year, Megaplex will host the main events in the Windermere Ballroom. This is located at the very end of the hall. Just 1 floor up at the lobby level, you'll find all the meeting rooms, along with some specialty vendors, the convention store, and the inflatables lounge. The 3rd floor is where you'll find all the Megaplex gaming rooms. If you're doing the escape room, you'll find that up here as well. Here's Tasper.
So that's the layout. You can scan here to see the entire event schedule online. You can also access it in the Sketched app by searching for Megaplex 2025. You're likely to already have this app if you've recently been to Anthrocon or Midwest Fur Fest. Before you start to pack, you should take into account the Florida weather. And for that, here's a quick look at what you can expect.
Your convention weather forecast looks a lot like this. Expect highs from the upper 80s to mid-90s every day, with thunderstorms in the afternoon that may be severe at times. The UV index will be high, so you'll want sunscreen, and you may find the tropical humidity is almost overwhelming. And remember, this is the peak time of year for a possible hurricane. That's your weekend forecast for the Megaplex House of Pounce.
Now, I know some of you are rolling your eyes that I even included a forecast, but every Florida furry right now is nodding their head saying, yep, that sounds just about right. So as you pack, be sure to plan for that type of weather. Plus, the Hyatt has 2 swimming areas with multiple pools and even a water slide. So pack your sunscreen, your swimsuit, and maybe your favorite pool toy. And don't be surprised if an afternoon pool party and photo shoot just suddenly happens. If you're coming in from out of town, well, you're definitely not alone. Orlando welcomed more than 75 million visitors last year. In other words, things can get a little busy at airports, restaurants, and even the hotels. So remember, a little extra patience on your part will go a long way. As one of the many furries that calls Florida home, it is my honor to welcome you to the Sunshine State. If you see me running around Megaplex, please feel free to come up and say hi. Conventions are all about community fun and making new friends, and that's exactly why I go to them too. All the info shared at today's tour was gathered by me personally. Any mistakes are completely on me. Oops. I'm not affiliated with Megaplex in any way. If you'd like to learn more about the convention or their all-volunteer team, you can do so by visiting their website at megaplexcon.org. That wraps up my pre-convention presentation and this month's tour. Thanks so much for joining me. If you'd like to see my highlights video from Megaplex 2024, click the video that you see over here. Until next month, I'm Tasper, just looking for answers. And if you're coming to Megaplex, I hope to see you. Enjoy the convention.